Hello. Everybody wants to know what I'm going to do with my greens, dehydrated greens, my breadcrumbs, and mixed vegetables. Now, I'm going to tell you something. If I'm going to make a good meatloaf or whatever, or a stew, or um, any kind of like that, like a casserole, I'm going to use these mixed vegetables. That's what I'm going to do with it. And they'll dehydrate right when I'm cooking something. All right. Everybody wants to eat a better class of food, but can't afford top sirloin or whatever. But I've got a recipe that made beef Wellington. Now, some people don't know what it is. It's basically a piece of meat encased in herbs and dough. Well, that takes a lot of damn time. Well, and I can't afford that big piece of meat. So therefore, I go to Walmart and I buy me one of them loaves of bread. Not the skinny one, but the bigger one. I hear big boy hollering. And I turn it over, cut out the bottom, and I peel out all the bread. And then I slice that bottom pretty thin, about maybe an inch and a half. And then I take hamburger meat and I spice it up, whatever flavor you like. And then I use my ground up bread crumbs to dry it out a little bit. Now it's better if you use a 90% or 92% lean, and that's usually what I do. It's still cheaper than beef Wellington, meat. And then I take my herbs, I put them on the counter, scatter them out, and then sprinkle them down there. Then I roll that meat uh, in like a cellophane, uh, what they call that, plastic wrap. I sprinkle them, then roll it up, and make sure that it's covered pretty thick with my herbs and my greens. It's got everything in it. And then I take the meat. When my bread's turned over, you can do it from the top side if you want to rather do it that way. I always thought it looked prettier from the bottom side. And I put my meat in there like a loaf. And then I put that little bottom back on it. I turn it into my oven. He made it through all that stuff I had piled up in front of him. And then I glaze the top of my meat, of my bread, and then I cook it. It's got to get about 160 to 165. And your loaf on the inside is done. I probe it. And then when you slice it and lay it out, now it's only made out of hamburger meat, but it looks and it tastes wonderful. It's a representation of beef Wellington on the cheap side. And like I said, that's one way to do and get rid of your herbs and spices. And like I said, these work wonders because it's got everything in it. A little bit of kale, it's got broccoli, it's got everything. I try to keep it as green as possible. And then if you don't turn your oven up too high, I always turn it about medium. And because you don't want to toast your bread too much. And if you think your bread is getting too brown, put a piece of aluminum foil over the top of it, and the meat will cook from the inside. And then when you take it out, slide it out, let it cool a little bit, and then slice it like you would beef Wellington. And I've got a bunch of tricks on how to make pate. products you can buy at Dollar Tree. And it ain't hard to cook. I've been dehydrating for a couple of days. I'm gonna take it easy today. Today's Monday. I have other things to do. It's trash day. But like I said, that is a trick to make beef Wellington on the cheap side. Or I call it beef Wellington substitute. But like I said, that loaf of bread, it'll cook that meat. And the reason I do cut it from the bottom and then slice it maybe an inch thick is it gives a way for the juices inside the hamburger meat to drip out on your pan. Now you want to have a way for it to get away from your beef Wellington. From you don't want to set it in there where the grease comes up on the side. You want it to have a drip tray or a wire tray or something like that so the oils can get away from it. And your family's going to love it. And then, like I said, I always glaze it for the last few minutes and make my bread golden just like you would a beef Wellington. Well, I've got to go. They ain't going to let me. But don't hurt to experiment. Pate's another one. It's like goose liver. I'll show you how to make pate real cheap. But like I said, breadcrumbs come in handy for a whole bunch of things. These green herbs, they actually got kale, they got everything you can imagine in here. Cabbage, green cabbage, celery. Now, I always used to put mixed vegetables in mine. Now I got 3 dogs in here, and I'm about to knock everything down. So I've got to go while I'm still alive. I will talk to you later. But remember, when I make one of them beef Wellingtons, I'll put it up on the internet.